Hello and welcome back to Expletives Included. Today we're doing another Steven Universe Rewatch podcast. Today we're going to be looking at episode 27, House Guest, and episode 28, Space Race. So, episode 27, House Guest.
Yes, the first episode of Season 1B. First broadcast October 2nd, 2014. Written by Lamar Abrams and Helen Joe, storyboarded by Same, and directed by Ian Jones Quarterly. So, this episode begins at the car wash.
Basically recapping the events, or the destruction at least, of the previous two episodes.
Yep. Greg's leg is broken, and his van is trashed.
Yes, bad stuff happened to Greg. That's all we need to know about the two Gem episodes.
Yep, nothing else important happened other than Greg's van got trashed and his leg broke.
And yeah, we start off just kind of Pearl being rather derogatory to humans again.
Well, to be fair, she comes from an intergalactic spacefaring civilization.
Yeah, but they must still have cars.
Yeah, they have air cars that self-repair.
Do we know this is fact?
No, but I'm assuming so.
Okay. Because those would be cool.
Or maybe they just teleport everywhere.
True, they do like their teleporters. I think they would still have cars. Surely the teleporters are only for the gem aristocracy, whereas cars are for the plebs.
Well, there is a theory behind a highly developed caste system. But given that they seem to have infinite power, they'd allow teleporters for everyone, I imagine. Just not personal teleporters. That's for the aristocracy.
Okay, fair enough. So yes, Greg's van is minor human technology. What is it? What does she say it is?
It's just a simple human machine.
Yes. So she decides to fix it.
Admittedly, I think that's mainly because Amethyst is like, it's just broken forever, pal, just leave it.
Yes, she must prove Amethyst wrong.
Which is fair enough. And the fact that the way Greg dealt with a broken leg, a fairly serious injury, is to duct tape a stick and a ruler to his leg.
Well, as we learned from Deadpool, duct tape fixes everything. There is nothing duct tape can't do.
Which is just what Greg says now.
Which may or may not be a coincidence.
My question is there not a hospital in Beach City?
What did we seen? We've never seen any nurse minor characters either, or any doctors.
Well, there is a doctor character who comes up later. Not in this episode, but soon.
From out of town, or?
Connie's mother.
And they travel a lot, so possibly.
Mm.
And also, there's the one episode, I think, Beachapalooza, where Steven's like, yeah, everyone in Beach City's going to be there. And Greg says, that's like 7 people. And we know all 7 of the people. None of them are medically trained.
Maybe. Though, you know, there are new characters who pop up from time to time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about hospitals, or even like a doctor's office.
Though there is an episode coming up in Season 2 that's set in a hospital.
It's probably from out of town.
Well, for some reason Rose's sword is there.
Rose's weapon was a sword? Did she have 2 weapons?
Well, she had her shield, but she has her sword.
Well, no, because like her gem weapon, quotation marks, that everyone has, was just the shield, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the sword is her favourite weapon, you know.
Okay. So, yeah.
The thing that's in Lion.
So it's just the sword that was Rose's, it's not Rose's sword.
No, it's called Rose's sword. You know, it's monogrammed and shit.
Yeah, but it's not her gem weapon.
Well, that doesn't stay around. That's a holographic construct.
That's why I was confused.
But yeah, that's in a hospital. I think it's going to be an animal hospital, but I don't know yet.
I don't know. Was Rose big on animals?
Well, she keeps the sword is kept in Lion.
Wait, so it's kept in line and at the hospital.
You're not paying attention. The sword is generally kept in Lion. You've seen this in an episode.
Yes.
And in this episode, it's described that Stephen and Connie have to break into this hospital to get Rose's sword.
So it's a different sword.
No, it's the same sword. There's only one Rose's sword.
So why did it get from Lion to the hospital?
I don't know. It hasn't been released yet.
Why did Stephen not keep the sword?
'Cause he's not very bright.
Did it go back to Lion?
Uh,
Just answer the question.
Well, we'll have to wait till late September.
That's so far away.
And you won't be able to watch it for many, many years from now.
That's even further away.
Yeah, because, that's season... That might be even season 2B.
Mm. That's a fair time away.
Mm. I mean... It's like episode 70 something.
So, yes, chop chop. Pearl is fixing Greg's simple human machine.
Well, tries to. But first, Stephen tries to heal Greg's leg with his magical healing powers.
Mm-hmm. Not healing kisses, but healing spit, of course.
Because, kissing him would be gross and such.
Exactly. I mean, it's like his father. Who would do that?
Yeah. Well, he is very hairy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. We actually see that like a lot in this episode. Just the sheer bulk of hair that Greg has.
Yeah.
It's like bigger than him, and he's quite large.
Yeah. Yet he's still balding.
Mm.
That's not a good look for anyone.
I don't know. I think Bill Bailey pulls it off.
Not a good look for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Bailey is part troll, remember?
So, is that a point in his favour or not? I'm not sure what you're getting at here.
That he's sort of naturally hideous and can't look good anyway.
Okay. So, a point in his favour or not? I'm not sure what you're trying to get at here.
Neither am I. Let's get on with the episode. So, Stephen tries to heal Greg, and it doesn't work for some reason. And everyone's like, yeah, your powers are a little hinky like that, buddy. Just give it a bit of time.
Apart from Garnet, who's just like,
Well, no, she's standing in the background, but she does still go, give it some time. It'll all reveal itself.
No, Greg's like saying, it's like, oh no, my leg's broken, but it means I get to kind of spend time with you. You can look after me, you can heal me until I'm better, because there are no hospitals in Beach City.
Yes, there is. There is zero medical coverage.
And Pearl is very against this idea.
Good reason.
Is it Pearl who kind of suggests, like, come on, Stephen, you've got healing powers. Heal your old man. Healing good. Send him on his way. Don't make him stay in the house.
Yes, she does.
So yes, and then Stephen tries, and then it doesn't work. And then Greg's all like, oh, well, at least I get to spend time with my son.
And everyone's like, spend time with your son. What are you, some kind of freak?
And this is where Garnet's like,
And then the engine falls out of Greg's van.
And hilarity ensues.
And then they sing a song.
They do. I wasn't all that impressed with this song. I mean, it was kind of nice and sweet, I guess, but I've heard it like 3 or 4 times now, I think. Yeah.
It was I want to drive my van into your heart.
It was no power ballad of love, no.
Which really it should have been. Surely the love of a father for his son should be power ballad level, not cutesy folk rock.
I don't know. I think it depends. They do like their cutesy folk rock, and Stephen does only have a ukulele with him.
Then they're not trying hard enough.
So I just don't believe that you can make awesome power ballads with a ukulele. I mean, maybe that's just a failure on my imagination. I don't know.
Come on, look at Van Canto. They make awesome power ballads and awesome heavy metal with just going bum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum.
And Rhapsody make awesome power ballads with a flute.
Though
Still, no ukulele. Point proven.
uh, I know there's a metal band somewhere that uses a banjo. I just can't remember its name.
And let us hope that you never do.
Am I thinking of Iron Horse? No, that's the bluegrass Metallica cover band. It's actually really good.
Okay. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So during the montage of Dear Old Dad, the song, we see them basically dicking around in the house, making a mess, which presumably Pearl has to clean up.
I find that quite likely.
Come on, they throw confetti in the air. That shit takes forever to clean up.
Well, it's confetti, so at least it's not glitter.
Well, that's what you send to your enemies.
I don't know. I've heard people send. Well, apparently, what you do is if it's someone's birthday or if it's Christmas, and you know someone and they've got, like, say, a sibling or a cousin and they've got kids, you kind of do a Christmas card, you fill it with glitter, then you send it to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
They open it, glitter goes everywhere. Kid has a wonderful time. It's glitter, it's sparkly, it's fantastic. Parents will hate you for months.
No, there was
Kids love it, and that's all that matters.
there was literally a service for sending your enemies the same thing of glitter.
There were people who you could pay to send glitter to your enemies.
Yes, anonymously,
Why couldn't you just do it yourself?
because of the anonymous part.
Can they track you down?
Yeah, postmark.
Well, they could. Surely that only kind of tells you what post office it's sent from or something.
Yeah, but if say you're sending it to someone in another city, they're like, "Oh, this is from Ludlow. Clearly, Dan. I will have my revenge."
Of the thousands of people who live in Ludlow, if I sent it from Ludlow and not going into the next big town or anywhere else, then it was like, yeah, of all of the thousands of people in Ludlow, I'm sure it's just that Dan. Damn him.
Well, if you sent it, if I got something from Ludlow that was this, I'd assume it was you.
Well, that would be wrong of you. I wouldn't be
Why?
stupid enough to send it from Ludlow.
I'd realise if it came from Craven Arms as well.
Of course, I work in Craven Arms. You know this. Stop giving away my personal information.
And Shrewsbury would probably be you as well. But only if it was sent on a Thursday or a Friday. Anyway.
Anyway, now that we've doxed Dan,
No, I can still keep going with that. Your email's what? Tohetsu?
my current email is njafss@gmail.com. Stands for not just a flying spaceship, because I'm smart enough to realize that spaceship is one word.
And yes, that was a webcomic project that you never did.
I got a good dozen or so out. I think it was on Comics Genesis. Is that still a thing?
Probably.
Hmm.
A dozen.
A couple of dozen. Dozens, some would say.
Maybe a singular baker's dozen, I'd say.
So we have our song, we have our music video.
Yep. And then Garnet comes in and sort of, the geode has cracked, we must leave immediately.
And she calls for Stephen.
Yes, because he can heal it for reasons. Also, Pearl has fixed Greg's van by this point.
Actually, no, she just comes in and kind of sexily wipes off all of the oil from herself.
You found that sexy?
Oh, come on, she's covered in oil. She's got the towel, she's going, and then just kind of rubbing herself with the towel. I mean, I can't be the only one who noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed she had a tiny head.
The animation wasn't perfect,
This whole
but
episode.
still, she's dabbing herself down with a towel while exhaling sensually. There is only one way that was intended to be received.
Well, which prefecture in Japan is it that you can marry 2D people?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if that was a real thing or whether it was just a parody. So I remember hearing it and like people saying that it was a real thing, but I,
Yeah,
it sounds just like something that you'd hear on The Onion.
but it's also Japan.
Yeah, and Japanese politics hate otaku.
No, the Prime Minister is an otaku.
No, the Prime Minister hates nerds and like neat culture and all that shit.
He hates neat culture, but yeah, he openly reads manga and shit.
Hmm.
I wish I could remember his name.
And just because he reads manga doesn't mean that he's an otaku. I mean, like proper otaku in Japan, they,
Well,
they do generally fall into the neat stereotype, and it's the people who are like the neat stereotype who are going to be the ones who want to marry 2D girls.
well, to be fair, otaku in Japan is only a derogatory term. It doesn't have the positive attribute that it does in the West.
So yes, I think that it was framed in that way, and no, I don't want to marry Pearl.
It's difficult to convey the look I want to give, but you know the look I want to give you.
You can just take a picture and just throw it up on the screen.
My webcam's being hinky at the minute, so I won't. But you know,
I'm sure there's a meme or something. Just put up Pedro the Frog or whatever it is. Just the look of sadness.
no, it's that sort of semi-raised. Really, really, really.
I mean, come on. How would I explain that to my parents?
There we go. We expected nothing more from you, Dan. At least you found someone.
So, Garnet, is it Garnet? Garnet gives Greg the warp whistle
Pearl gives Greg warp whistle.
to stop his whining because
Yeah.
he's being all bitchy about it.
Which I think this is our first really big Nintendo reference.
It's the first one that's blatant. Yes.
I think it's definitely the first Nintendo prop
Mm.
because it's directly the warp whistle from Mario 3.
Unless we're like talking about actual consoles, which we've seen before.
Well, this is actually it's in this sequence, I think, that we see that Steven has a new console.
I didn't notice that.
He's upgraded to the GameCube.
Fair enough.
He's finally got a console with a sensible controller.
Yes, because it just looked so sensible on the GameCube.
Yeah, it was one of the best controllers of all time.
I don't know. I'm still going with SNES and PlayStation.
SNES was fairly uncomfortable, to be honest.
You never found that.
Really, the molding on the GameCube controller is excellent.
I mean, I did find it weird, like when I'd been playing on the PlayStation for like a couple of years, and then went back to the SNES. It's like there are no handles on this. How do I hold it? I soon got back into it, but you know,
Though, to be fair, the NES controller could kill someone.
that's just because it had sharp edges.
Yeah. NES Ninja!
You could use any controller as you could use any as a bludgeoning tool if you were trying hard enough, and even then, you could strangle anyone with the cables.
Yeah, but the NES is the only controller you could use as a slashing weapon. Or as a throwing star if you remove the cable. But yes, the N64 is the worst controller ever designed.
Yes, because you kind of needed three hands.
Well, I actually understand how they designed it, because you didn't actually need three hands. In all the games, you were
Yeah, you either were using it as like a console, which was good, or you were using the D-pad and the Z trigger,
Hmm.
and you were uncomfortably close together.
Yeah. So you just really ignored the D-pad and used the other two,
Unless you actually needed the Z trigger.
which most of the time you didn't.
Mm.
But anyway, to the geode,
Hmm.
which is just a big black rock that is somehow containing an explosion very, very slowly.
Yes, but it's not a rock. It's a gem, isn't it? I think.
Uh, I can't remember.
Well, I think it kind of must be because Stephen. They get Stephen to try to heal it.
Yeah, but gem technology is also weirdly connected to gem biology, so
I haven't seen Stephen heal. Well, do we see Stephen heal like inanimate objects that are obviously not gems in the future?
no. But Pearl does call the geode synthetic.
Ah, I missed that adjective.
Mm. Yeah, this whole sequence is really annoying because Greg keeps using the warp whistle to call Stephen back
Hmm.
because he's being terrible, basically.
He is.
Just
He's being very clingy.
not even clingy, just awful.
Mm.
He calls Stephen back to know where the remote is
Well, Stephen agrees that was a very important question.
when he's not even sitting where the television is.
And Stephen agrees that that's a very important question.
Yeah, but Stephen's 8.
Mm.
Admittedly, when I was 8, we didn't have a television with a remote.
You had to like get up and change it by hand,
Yep,
like an animal.
yep. And it had manual tuning.
Oh, that was manual tuning wasn't too bad when the TV remembered.
No, no, this one didn't.
That was just awful.
Yep.
I had a TV like that.
It also sometimes lost color tuning.
Mm.
So, particularly on like Channel 5, you had to retune it to the right colors. But obviously, I'm colorblind, so I always got it wrong.
My TV had like one of those aerials that was like connected to the TV.
Yeah.
Every time I had to, every time it didn't matter like how perfect I got it, I would always have to adjust the aerial every
Yeah.
time I turned the TV on, even if I had it perfect like an hour ago. If it had been off, then the aerial needs to be changed, and then it needs to be keyed in with the remote as well.
Old technology.
I mean, it was okay for the SNES because I remembered that it was like, okay, it's this channel. I tune it for like this amount of time in this direction, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah. I swear it always randomized the tuning for consoles and VHS players and such.
Mine was always set.
No, I've always had to
Not
search.
really how I worked out like what channel it was supposed to be because it never came up as like this is the channel you want. Might have been AV, but I'm not sure if the TV had like an AV setting. It must have done. This is a while ago that we're talking.
Yeah, my television was made in like 81.
Hmm.
It's actually the one I had in my old house, if you remember. The little,
Possibly.
the little black one.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a long time ago.
Anyway, let's get back to Stephen.
Warp whistle.
Yes, so he's going back and forth. The gems are like, "Grah, what do we do?" Stephen tries to heal it, and he fails.
Mm-hmm. Because his healing powers are offline.
Yep, because he doesn't believe in the heart of the cards.
No, there's not really a good. No, there's not really a good card reference I can make here.
Card games on motorcycles!
Nah, it's always good in a pinch.
Non sequiturs, best way to move on.
I'll bear that in mind. I'll bear that in mind.
On that note, there's a new cartoon about bears.
I haven't watched it, but apparently you say it was pretty good. I think we talked about it last time.
I found it mediocre.
Oh, okay.
But apparently there's a really cute character in it, and I can't find the episode with her
Go
in
get
it.
some motorcycles!
Well done.
So,
Stephen,
Steve can't heal the gem. He can't heal the construct, the synthetic gem stuff.
and then Greg calls him back because he wants to show him a funny commercial.
Yes. And all of the gems go back at this point, I think, just because they kind of realise that, well, Stephen can't heal it, so they need to find another plan.
Yeah.
Which they don't come up with anytime soon.
Well, they're just like, it's okay. You'll get hold of your powers. Everyone's really supportive of him.
Even Amethyst. Amethyst is like the most supportive, I think.
Well, she's also the youngest, so she probably went through something similar many, 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 many years ago.
Well, actually, no. It's because she immediately thereafter tells him to go to the Big Donut and get her some croissants.
No, Greg asked Stephen to go to the Big Donut. Amethyst jumps on that order.
Is like, get me some croissants while you're out.
Yeah, which doesn't really seem like an Amethyst food. I mean, I know croissants are basically just butter, but and they are damn tasty. But
yes,
surely she'd
sugar and sugar. What's not to like?
Well, surely she'd ask for like a dozen glazed that she'd eat all in one, including the box.
Yes, but croissants it's a good sounding word.
Maybe she's trying to impress Pearl.
I doubt that. But yeah, Greg asks him to go to the Big Donut. Everyone's supportive, especially Amethyst, and then she's like, "Get me some croissants."
Yep. Then Stephen walks outside. He's like, I forgot to ask Dad what he wants.
I best go inside and not get any heart-wrenching revelations.
None at all. This will be just a quick in and out.
In and out. So he goes in.
But he does not go out.
Greg's dancing.
And eating.
At the same time.
Which we've all done.
The hedonistic lifestyle of the car wash guy.
Yep. A truly bacchanalian feast of strawberries and some manner of chicken egging with whipped cream.
When in the temple, do as the Romans do.
Eat terrible food. So, Stephen rightly chews Greg out. And, Greg's just like, I wanted to be with my son.
And then Stephen's all like, "You have failed me, father."
So Greg duct tapes the geode.
Well, actually, no. Then Stephen kind of storms off outside. He sees the guitar and the ukulele. He kind of realizes that he really did want to spend time with his dad as well. Goes back inside to apologize, and then Greg's just kind of like, "Well, gonna go kill myself. I mean, gonna go fix the geode."
My question is, he's only used the warp whistle to call Stephen. How does he know that the warp whistle will A, activate the warp pad, and B, even knows where he's going?
Because I think that essentially what the warp whistle did was reactivate the portal to the last place it warped to.
That's surprisingly logical.
That's just what I assumed.
Well, anyway.
But we also know that if you kind of play the warp whistle and then play the warp whistle again while you're on the warp whistle screen, you can actually go into any world, including World 8. So yeah, World 1, you get 2 warp whistles. You use the warp whistle once, you go to the weird screen, you play it again, you can kind of choose wherever you want to go.
But, then it's kind of like, well, why am I playing this game? I've skipped all of it.
Because you still have to go through all of World 8. And if you do it right from World 1, then you have no items. And it's quite challenging.
It just seems like a waste of a game.
I don't know, playing World 8 just on its own, I still found that quite challenging.
Yeah,
it's still fun as a game. And it's because it's kind of in an era of gaming that I've got it on. I only had it on the SNES. I only had the Super Mario All Stars, which did have save slots. But I'm playing it again now on the 3DS, and it's the NES version, and that
Hmm.
doesn't have saves. So I'm just wondering if it's just because it's from an era of gaming that you used passwords, you used cheats like this. You don't kind of you couldn't save, so you had to kind of remember where you were and then start there again, like from and it needs to give you an option to do that right at the beginning.
Hmm, maybe,
I
but
just wanted to kind of throw in here because we're talking about the warp whistle that you can if you get both warp whistles. Again, we should probably say the game Super Mario Bros. 3. Uh,
everyone knows the warp whistle, dude.
well, yes, everyone knows the warp whistle, but I can't remember when I found it out, but it was quite late on in my gaming career that I realized that you can actually play the warp whistle again on the warp whistle screen to
Hmm.
go right to World 8. Because I would always just kind of use warp whistle, go to like the World 3, and then use warp whistle again, and go to World 6, and then still have like 6, 7, and 8 to go through. I didn't. It's just like a neat little trick that I'm not sure if there are lots of like the little cheats that everyone knows about, but that's kind of like the cheat within the cheat that I think is a bit less well known.
Hmm.
I know it, but I'm old now.
Well, I always got derided by my siblings when I used the warp whistle.
I don't know. It's just yeah. You're not going through the game, but you're kind of putting yourself later in the game with none of the items which you've collected, none of the lives which you should have banked up.
You have to remember how
Fail miserably when you got there, then you're showing a decent amount of skill.
how terrible a gamer I am. By the time I got to World 8, I had maybe one life and no items.
Mm.
But anyway, let's round off this episode.
Yes. Basically, Greg's like, you got to believe in yourself. You healed me. Sorry for the whole lying and stuff, but you healed me. You can heal the geode. So Steven's like, yes, I can do it. Ah. He doesn't do it. Um, Maybe because it is a synthetic uh, gem and not like an actual gem.
Actually,
Actually, no, that's wrong because yes, what happens then is like Greg's all it's like, okay, it's fine. We can use the one thing which can fix anything in the universe. Duct tape.
but no, it is actually been stated from a high that Stephen should have been able to heal the geode.
Well, I think Steven still does.
Well, he doesn't try to heal it again after the duct tape.
Well, no, because
The duct
the
tape has healed it.
well, no, the duct tape hasn't healed it. The spit has healed it. Because Stephen does kind of rub his spit all over it, but I think he still doesn't like properly have his confidence back. And
Mm.
it's because he's kind of putting the duct tape on with his father. They both do it.
Hmm.
So he's still interacting with it while his spit is still on the geode, and he believes because he's still kind of trusts his father to some extent. He trusts the power of duct tape. He believes that what he's doing is going to heal the geode with his spit on there, and I think it's I think the duct tape is just kind of the placebo. It's the um, he believes that the duct tape is going to work, ergo it works, because when they kind of go back, the geode does fix itself. The tempest dies
Hmm.
down. They go back home, and then we kind of like see on his nightstand it's the duct tape, but it's got like the sparkle, it's got the glitter
Hmm.
that we always see when we've got like the healing spits, like before it heals something, like when it interacts with something, it's those kind of sparkly shapes, and that's on the duct tape. So
Admittedly, I was a bit more
it's
distracted by what was below the duct tape on his side table.
which was
Sailor Moon.
of all the things to get distracted by, that's one of the most most
There you
yeah.
go. He's got a Sailor Moon collection under there.
But yeah, like we see the duct tape again, and it's got like the magical gem sparkle.
Hmm. But yeah. So they go home. Greg's car's fixed. Greg
Yes.
hugs Pearl. Pearl is disgusted.
Garnet
She is
boost. And then hides behind Garnet.
Yep. And
Save me from the bad man.
she would. And then, Stephen's going to sleep. Then he calls out goodnight to Greg, who's parked outside the house.
you're missing out a big part of that story. Greg is like, okay, I'm healed. It really is time for me to go home and not interrupt with your gem studies so much, and I'll go now. And then Stephen kind of calls out his window, like, "Good night, Dad," and he's just there in the van, like right outside.
Yeah. And then it sort of does the zoom in with two hearts.
Because familial love, all that jazz.
Yeah. So what did you think of this episode?
The song was lackluster. I kind of liked it though. I have no idea where the geode was, because I'm assuming like, well, next episode they go to the galaxy warp. But yeah, so this is just like a tempest on Earth that was going to vaporize stuff. Yeah, it's like, well, it's strange environment. It's unknown. It's weird, and it was kind of cool to go there and just kind of see all the imagery. Seemed kind of familiar, but can't remember where from. I guess it just looked a bit like an explosion. And
I think it can be clearly put under the heading of weird gem stuff.
yeah, it was weird gem stuff. But yeah, it was kind of cool. It was fun. It was just like a nice kind of downtime episode, because we do concentrate more on like Greg and Steven, but then it's just like, oh yeah, gem stuff is still happening as well in the background.
Fair enough.
So I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool.
I didn't really like this episode very much. The main thing for me is just, it was a very ugly episode.
Yeah, Greg looked weird in lots of these kind of scenes.
Well, not just Greg, Stephen, Pearl, all of them were drawn so badly. Proportions were all over the place. There's bits where sort of Stephen's gesticulating when he's ranting at Greg about how he lied to him, and his arms are longer than his entire body. And just the facial expressions are really ugly.
Interns, what are you going to do?
Well, the person who storyboarded this is one of the main storyboard artists, Helen Joe.
Interns, what are you going to do?
You know, she is kind of known for doing the bad art, so. And I found Greg fairly reprehensible, but it makes me kind of like the next episode more, if that makes sense. Because I think in Space Race he kind of gets his comeuppance for this episode.
Where he almost has a heart attack.
Yes. I have little forgiveness for fathers that lie. One reference we didn't pick up was during the song, there's a bit where they're making bacon, and apparently that's a reference to Howl's Moving Castle.
Really?
Apparently it's the same design as used in Howl's Moving Castle, just really ugly.
I don't remember the bacon making scene in Howl's Moving Castle. Maybe I just got distracted by, Calcifer and, like, Howl turning into this weird bird monster and destroying stuff, and the vast open plains of dancing magic fairies and stuff. But, I'm sure that the bacon scene was very important.
I remember a scene with cooking. Like, there's cooking in every Ghibli movie. But, yeah, it just was an ugly episode. But, Let's get on to Space Race.
Yes. The one which tackles the deep politics of the Russian-American space race.
Yeah.
Cold War. It really goes into vivid detail. You really kind of get a feel for what it must have been like to be kind of like on one of those opposing sides.
In 10 minutes, no less. But
I'm very surprised that they managed to pull it off so well.
Yep, but let's do the info. First released September 9th, 2014. written and storyboarded by Joe Johnson and Jeff Liu, with supervising director Ian Jones Quarterly. So, we begin in the Galaxy Warp.
Ah, yes, the Galaxy Warp, which I believe was developed by the Russians.
Yes, to aid their cosmonauts.
Yes. Well, actually, I think mainly they were just trying to get to the moon to re-establish some kind of connection to the Nazis.
Well, they were very, very anti-Nazi, the Russians.
They were, but
Well, they wanted to finish the
West
job.
America.
I believe they wanted to finish the job, personally.
Well, we don't know why they kind of created the Galaxy Warp,
But anyway.
They have it, and it's a very real threat.
Anyway. Stephen and the Gems are checking to see if the warp pads are working. And Stephen puts a crying breakfast friends sticker on the ones that don't work, which is all of them.
Crying breakfast friends being from the previous episode. It was just a cartoon.
Though it is actually a cartoon that crops up more than once.
Just cartoons, man. I used to like cartoons.
Yeah. So it's stated that the galaxy warps have been inactive for thousands of years.
And also, I was kind of discussing this in our previous episode. They do actually say universe. They do say like gem homeworlds throughout the universe, not just the galaxy.
Yeah.
So warps between galaxies.
Which, if you have instantaneous travel, that's pretty cool. But I believe that's when we started discussing this, we ended up just on a long tangent about Stargate.
Yes, I basically said it would be so cool if they could just like go to all of these different galaxies, and then we kind of said, yeah, but then it would just kind of turn into a Stargate kind of new planet of the week type deal, and we both agreed that would be a bad thing.
No, I said that'd be really cool because I love Stargate.
Yes, but it would kind of stop Steven Universe being Steven Universe.
Very true. Very true. I honestly don't think they'll ever go off planet.
I think they might go to the homeworld, but I don't know. We'll see.
That might be for an epic climax, though. When Stephen crushes the Diamond Authority under his duck booties and takes his rightful place on the throne of the Gem Empire.
Or, maybe Onion will kind of go to the Gem homeworld, crush the Diamond Authority under his creepy bootsies, and claim his rightful throne at the head of the Gem Empire.
Yeah, but Onion is human.
Yes, that's what makes him so terrifying.
True.
Apart from the fact that all the gems will outlive him 100-fold.
He may just choose not to die.
I believe that's something that would be in his power, yes.
As a saying, it was said of U.S. President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, who was known as a badass, that death could only take him in his sleep.
I like that. What would be cooler is if he did die in his sleep and then he came back just to say that, just to kind of be, yeah, death wasn't so. Death is very tricksy. The only way he could beat me is if he took me in my sleep.
Well, he did die in his sleep. That's the thing. But when I was reading that, there's this great picture of sort of death pulling back the covers, and it's just pillows, and then there's Roosevelt in the background with the shiny glasses from anime. Anyway, so back on Earth, Stephen and Greg are watching Crying Breakfast Friends. And Stephen's like, I want to build Pearl a spaceship.
Yes, because Pearl is getting kind of homesick for space.
She wants to go to space. To space.
She kind of says she wants to... she doesn't want to kind of like go and interact with anyone. She just wants to see kind of like how they're getting on without her.
Which is, she wants to see how things have progressed. It's been 6,000 years.
Yeah, but I also find that kind of like a weird thing to say, almost as if, well, was she aristocracy? Do we ever find that out?
Theories.
So we just have theories. We don't have anything.
We have no concrete proof other than there is a line in a. Well, there's a couple of lines in two episodes. One of them Jailbreak, another one that I can't remember the name of, which was in the latest Stephen Bomb,
Mm-hmm.
where Pearl is referred to and refers to herself as a defective Pearl.
Because we kind of find out that there are lots of Pearl.
That's all we know thus far. That's all that can be concretely said.
Okay, so it sounds like they are building something, I guess.
Though, on the note of building something, Greg does say a spaceship might be out of his skill set. How about a bunk bed with wings?
Yes. But they build a spaceship anyway,
Yeah,
which is more of a boxcar.
it's kind of adorable.
We don't get boxcars in England, do we?
Uh,
I've only seen them in, like, American films from the 90s.
which are referencing things that happened in the 50s.
Possibly. It's just
Yeah.
always this. I think there was, like, one major one where they were just kind of doing boxcar racing. And also it happened in The Simpsons as well.
And Recess, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, which is weird because especially where we live is a very hilly area.
Hmm. I guess we just can't be bothered to, build things.
Yeah, we're too busy chasing cheese.
I thought that was mainly France.
No, that's a British thing.
Does it happen in France as well, or Holland?
No, only we do this. To
Okay.
those who don't know, there is an annual event called the Cheese Race. I think it's in Gloucestershire. Could be wrong. Where,
Where people die.
yes, chasing a wheel of cheese down a steep hill.
People have literally died.
It's a scarily steep slope, and hundreds of people do this every year.
Most people just get maimed or seriously injured.
But you know what the winner gets?
Cheese.
Dirty, dirty cheese.
The cheese that has just rolled down this incredibly steep hill.
Not even
I don't even
protected.
think it's covered. I think it's just.
No, it's not covered. I mean, it's a hard cheese, but it hasn't even got cellophane on it.
So they build the boxcar and they call Pearl over to see it.
Yep.
Ooh, actually, no, we've missed an important line. Because, like, when they realise that all of the galaxy warp isn't working still,
Hmm.
Pearl is like, and when she's like saying, "I wanted to see like how they're getting on without me,"
Hmm.
she says, "I guess I'm just still trapped here on Earth,"
With me.
says Stephen, and she's just kind of like, "Yeah, I want to go home." She doesn't say it. She just kind of makes the noise and makes the face.
Well, but she really wishes he could see it as well.
I think they're kind of like equal kind of motivations. But at that point, it is just that she really does want to kind of get back to space and like see things.
Yeah. So to make this boxcar, they go to the barn.
Yes, because Greg has family connections, or had family connections.
Yeah, his aunt and uncle,
Big aviation kind of buffs.
who I think, yes, had a great love for aviation and each other.
Mhm.
And it's also shown that the family might have something of a hoarding problem.
Because they never throw away anything that they get.
Yeah. It kind of makes me wonder if, this might be an explanation for Amethyst.
Because she's part of Greg's family.
Well, no, we see that well, I suppose actually the age of the stuff she has is quite a lot older, but when Greg interacts with first meets Amethyst, she acts really young and looks really young. Completely adorable, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of... And then her hairstyle is very Greg-like, and it's sort of shown that they're very close friends. So I wonder, sort of, is her hoarding part of this emulation of Greg? But she has stuff far older than Greg.
Yeah. Like the burrito.
That's not older than Greg.
The picture of the team punching a shark?
I think that might have been Rose's, but yeah. But, so, Stephen declares the barn Universe and Universe's Universal Space Travel Headquarters.
Ooh, HQ.
So, they show off the spaceship to Pearl.
We get the moral story of the episode.
Greg can't make spaceships.
Greg can't make spaceships, but mainly it's the if things are going to fail, then there's no shame to bail. I can't remember if it rhymed or not, but yeah.
I like your version.
But yeah, if like things get rough, there's no shame in kind of ducking out.
Yep, and Pearl's like, I am completely unimpressed by this. Your calculations are entirely wrong.
It's like, calculations can't be wrong if you haven't done any.
Yeah.
Is Greg's response.
Which, to be fair, is my response a lot of the time.
So yeah, Stephen bails out of the boxcar just before it kind of breaks on the ramp.
Yeah. Then Pearl, at the chalkboard they used to crudely design their boxcar, designs a space plane. Which is admittedly a real thing.
Basically just like say, it's like, you can't do it like that, this is how you would do it. And talks herself into making a spaceship.
Yep. And there is allusions to the space, to humans being in space.
Yes, what does it say? Several humans, a dog, and a monkey have gone into space.
Which makes me think space exploration might be somewhat curtailed in this universe. This Stephen universe, if you will.
I just missed the chance to be very sexist. Anyway, now carry on.
We're not going to let you have that opportunity here. Expletives included, we are a family channel. You fucker.
I knew that was coming.
And it still worked. So, next we have a montage of them putting stuff
putting together. It's not them, it's Pearl.
Yeah, but it's really cute. Especially the way Stephen's kind of doing stuff. So first they make a hang glider to test the engine.
Well, first they just kind of like make an engine type thing.
Yeah.
It just kind of flies on its own by remote control. And then they make the glider, which Stephen flies around in.
Yeah, and Greg and Stephen make a sandwich.
Yep. With science.
Well, a welding torch. Which wouldn't give you an even spread.
No. No, I don't know. The Greg's tools. He knows what he's doing.
No, he doesn't.
He knows about sandwiches.
I'll give him that, yeah.
Didn't we agree that he was part of a sandwich cult?
Possibly.
Fairly sure we did. I think if there's a way to make a sandwich with a blowtorch, then Greg knows the way.
Yeah. So, Pearl gets very enthusiastic about her and Stephen going into space.
Greg realises that she's actually serious about going into space.
Which kind of makes me question sort of what he thinks they've been doing.
Just having fun with Stephen.
I guess.
But yeah, and he's like, no, Stephen, you're not going off planet. You're staying on Earth.
Specifically, he's grounded. Because
so we can have like this moment.
No, you're grounded. You can't leave Earth.
Stuck on the ground.
And it seems they actually made company bylaws because this is enforced by that reason. Um,
Yeah, they're just kind of goofing off with Stephen.
mm,
And Stephen made him, what, chairman or CEO or what?
CEO and Supreme Space Commander.
Hmm.
Commander of Space.
He does command a lot of space.
Yeah.
Is that a fat joke? I think it was.
Well,
Was
great.
it loud, or are we too much of a family channel for that?
No, no, fat jokes are allowed. That's 90% of humour.
Okay. I thought that was like irony or sarcasm or something.
No. Now let's see. Well, for family humour, it's mainly fat and poop jokes.
So after that, Pearl is like, well, fine, I'll make a spaceship. I won't. It won't be any different.
It's like, fine,
It's,
I'll do it myself.
hmm. And she does. She builds a spaceship.
Yeah. So, skip to night when she's waking him up. Waking Stephen up, who's sleeping on top of the van in a sleeping bag,
Hmm.
which I think is a reference to some anime.
Possibly. There's not one that I recognize.
It's something I've seen a clip of in like AMV, one of the AMV hells.
They're very long. There's quite a few of them now.
Yeah, but they're still really good.
Mm.
Well, the last one I watched, which was admittedly maybe 2010, um, but you know, it's a full thing sleeping bag with a hood, so you
Mhm.
can just see the oval of the face. And Greg's dreaming about a monkey or something.
Yep. Because after the bananas,
It's what he wants.
what he wants, it's what he needs. Don't give it to him.
Yep. And
And yeah, she invites him up to the spaceship to see what it's like.
yep. And
Fantastic.
yeah, yeah. It's finished. Looks really good, and it's even got the logos from Greg's van.
Hmm.
And we see her gem change into a space. Well, she touches her gem and changes her costume into a spaceship, space suit. Sorry,
Hmm.
which is pretty awesome. And if you notice, it has a pink diamond on it.
I don't think I did notice that. No.
Well, it does
Whereabouts?
in the center of her chest.
All right. The suit does.
Yeah.
Hmm. Was that for a reason?
Well, um, you know, Diamond Authority.
Oh, okay.
In the aesthetics of the show thus far, such as in the weird pyramid temple thing from a few episodes back, if you remember.
Yeah. The one with the teacups.
Yep. There's been a motif of diamonds, usually in a 4 diamonds in a diamond shape.
Hmm.
And I can't remember if this was revealed in that episode, but it may have been. There are 4 colours: pink, blue, white, and yellow.
I'm not sure if that's been revealed yet. I think like all of the paintings in the temple were just kind of black and white type stuff, type deal.
So this is the basis for the Diamond Authority idea.
So she might be part of the Diamond Authority. But if she says she's a defective pearl, then maybe she's just like part of.
Well, remember
So
that.
it's like a large army, so maybe she was just kind of mass produced or something.
Well, remember that Rose rebelled against the Gem Homeworld.
Hmm.
Anyway, we'll talk about this when more of it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really like the cut from the when Pearl says that she's borrowed the decals from Greg's van, and then it cuts to Greg waking up when the spaceship's about to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We see that she's just it's on bricks.
Pulling it off.
It's on bricks. Entire sections of the van are ripped off,
Mm-hmm.
and he slept through all this.
I have no doubt that he did.
Yeah, but it's just sort of Oh, Pearl.
Mm.
And Pearl sets out the space plane and off they go.
Hmm. And she's got like a piano in the
Hmm.
spaceship.
Well, you need control pads.
Yeah, I just think that it's well, A, it's a piano. B, she actually plays a proper tune when she has to kind of start something up.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's just a lot of design work went into that for just like the one little flourish.
Well, actually, using music notation as a form of instrumentation is actually quite logical.
Because you can remember like the buttons that need to be pressed in the order and stuff. That,
Well, yeah, it's a good non-alphabetic alternative because it's a good way to memorize sequences, and I don't even know how. Well, I have a piano. I don't even know how many keys and half tones it's got. But think of all the various combinations you could have of that.
hmm.
It's a good complex way of input. Plus, it looks cool.
Hmm.
But
I know that in all of our puny Earth machines, we always use musical stuff for
well,
such complex machines.
well, to be fair, it's a good way of showing how alien she is.
Hmm. I think it's just a good way of showing how Pearl she is.
And it is already shown that she is musically capable.
Hmm. Although we also again missed like a small bit that I think is very important. Just a good Stephen moment.
What's
Like
that?
he's Pearl just kind of gets him into the cockpit and he's just like so many buttons. I must push them all.
Yes.
I mean, regardless of just you never push the history eraser button, but he must push them all.
To be fair, Pearl wouldn't put the history eraser button where Stephen could push it.
I don't think she'd even put it in the spaceship, but it's just that kind of thing. There's
Oh,
going to be like an engine dump or a fuel tank dump or something like that. Something which would be very important.
every spaceship has a history eraser button. It's the law of space. It's just hidden.
Hmm.
That's my headcanon for every piece of sci-fi ever.
Fair enough.
So, Pearl is just sort of a quick pop over to the nearest star system.
Hmm.
You know,
That's a good test run. That's a good test flight.
yeah, it'll only take 50 years.
Then Greg kind of is. I'll be dead in 50 years.
And, then Pearl just,
Oh, you worry too much.
just starts to go a little crazy.
Mm.
Uh,
Where does the crazy come from? I don't remember the crazy.
she's adamantly flying on when the ship is literally falling apart around them.
You're skipping ahead. Yeah, she did get a bit crazy. I don't think she got crazy. She was desperate.
Overexcited.
Desperate. She was like, we've got to do this. We've got to see space. We've got to, show it to you. You've got to see how things have happened. We've got
Yeah.
to come. We're almost there. We're like seconds away.
We're seconds away from our 50-year journey,
Hmm.
which,
Well, no, they were like seconds away from breaking atmosphere.
yeah,
And if they did like break atmosphere, then they would have been fine. It would have been just plain sailing.
well, apart from cosmic rays, meteorites,
Yeah, but meteorites in space, kind of. Yeah,
another gem craft.
maybe there is one on the way. Yeah, I don't
And
know.
there was another one in a recent episode.
Wait, what?
Yep, one of the recent episodes had another gem craft in it.
Oh, you mean one of your recent episodes? One of the recent ones which just kind of aired?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant like in one of the recent ones we've just talked about. But yes.
Yeah, didn't you notice in Fribo that whole sequence on the spaceship?
Well, no, I thought maybe just like as an Easter egg in the background, we just kind of noticed it flying overhead or something.
No, though that you did see the Apollo Apollo module earlier in this episode, in the piles of junk.
But anyway,
so Stephen
I was just
convinced.
going to say, like, Pearl says, just the closest star system, it will just take 50 years. Lapis Lazuli has just kind of flown off-world,
Yeah,
not with like jet fuel engines, just with wings.
yep.
Doesn't take her 50 years to get to the gem world and then back.
We don't know. But
Because there's weird stuff that happens in like Prison Break, but is it kind of like said that she does just kind of get back to a gem world, or does she kind of get picked up on the way?
we don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
But I mean, let's assume that the nearest star system, I think it's still Alpha Centauri. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, 6 light years from here?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
5 or 6. I know it's Proxima's 7.
Hmm.
Anyway, so what percentage of light speed would that be?
Well, if it was 5 light years, then that's like a tenth of the speed of. Oh, actually, no. She said she would get back in.
So it's 25. So that's quite a high percentage of the speed of light.
Well, what did I say? It's 20%. It's a fifth of the speed of light.
That's you're getting relativistic effects then.
I thought you had to be going like a quarter of the speed of light before like that set in. But again, this is like stuff which I heard ages ago and it didn't sink in.
There's no set. Well, we don't know when the relativistic effects are. It's sort of generally.
It's hypothesized.
Yeah, it's sort of. I think the lowest level suggested is 75%. So, still, that's fairly impressive for a shoddily made space plane
With superior gem knowledge.
with inferior human technology. You know, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you have to nap flint, you kind of have to know how to nap flint.
Yeah, but if she had like gem tech,
then she would have left thousands of years ago.
Yes, but also just 'cause, yeah, like the later episodes, there's the gem ship that does come. I'm assuming that just like has come since Lapis left.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that it's not like 50 years between the start of season 1B and the end of season 1B.
No.
Because Greg's still alive.
For the most part, yes.
So yeah, Gemtech goes way faster.
Yeah, I assume they have some kind of hyperspatial travel.
Hmm.
You know, that's the only realistic way to explore the stars. Admittedly, they are immortal, so...
Yeah, I think like... Well, I don't know. It's a lot of speculation.
Yeah. Anyway, they bail out as the ship explodes. And Greg's just, like, searching with the binoculars and sees the parachute.
Well, no, he sees the explosion. He's like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Sees the parachute. This kid's killing me. And then...
having a heart attack, we're not sure.
Yeah. And then Pearl and Steven sort of float down to Earth and they have a little moment.
Again, it's just like the bit which they say at the beginning where it's like, you know, I guess I am happy just being on Earth for now.
With me!
And this time she does kind of like say it in, yeah, a much nicer way. She's not like, she's just, yes, with you, Stephen. And she seems happy. She seems content with that. Which is really nice.
Yeah. So what do you think of this episode?
I liked it. Yeah, good Pearl episode. And kind of good Greg episode. And I don't know, I guess Stephen did seem a bit more childish in this one than he did like in House Guest. Kind of more bubbly young Stephen than...
But I think he could be in this episode. I think he could be in this episode.
he could be more adult-ish.
No, I mean, due to the circumstances, he could be more childlike.
Right.
Because he's not on a mission, he's just having fun with his family.
Mm. Yeah. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I just noticed.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just Earth episode. Nothing big happening.
Well,
Time again, just kind of screwing around, playing with stuff.
which, to be honest, is needed after the two-parter.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that. And yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is one of my favourite episodes.
Have we already peaked in season 1B?
No, it's just this is where I think I really got a feeling for the sort of way the gems were really becoming Stephen's family in this episode.
Mm.
The way Pearl and Stephen interact, and also this is the first episode where the gems are shown to have a real weakness. You know, Pearl is homesick. She's been away from her home for thousands of years, and she has to some degree lost her reason for being here. And there's a real melancholy to this episode that I like.
Mm.
And that last moment where Pearl and Stephen are sort of floating back down to Earth, I really like, because it really shows their closeness.
So it was her reason for staying on Earth.
Exactly. And I like Stephen having a happy family, so it makes me, when it comes
Stephen
together.
is happy. I'm happy.
No, but you know, if there's good circumstances for Stephen, then it is good.
Mm.
Also, Greg's comeuppance is nice.
Yes, I'm glad he had a heart attack after lying to his son.
Yes. You should be beaten, dragged through the streets of Beach City, being ravaged by wild dogs for life. I can't remember the full Thompson bit. There's a description he gave for what should happen to Nixon for lying.
I'm not going to know the speech.
Yeah. I'm terrible at quoting Thompson. But anyway, yes, this is one of my favourite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has space in it. What do you want?
Maybe a bit more kind of explanation on the commie scum, but you know.
Well, you know, they can't explain everything.
Mm. Right, so yeah.
I think that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Talk us out, Dan.
Okay, thank you for watching. We've been Expletives Included. Yeah, thank you for watching our Rewatch podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Keir.
See you next week for the next podcast.
Yep, where we're talking about another two good episodes, I believe.
Yes.
Oh yes, I believe. Yes, next week we have Island Adventure.
Which I think you've been building up to for a while. So
it's another one of my favourites. It's the Sadie episode.
Mm-hmm. Is this the one where like the Amazon warrioress?
Yes.
It's come from. Okay, so we'll talk about that next week.
That's something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
See you then. Thank you for watching.
And good night.